Welcome to Broad Strokes. We joked last week about how we've essentially been forced to have a weekly Trump segment. I think we're going to make that official this week. I'm talking, of course, about the Donald Trump Access Hollywood tape that came out last Friday. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this tape because I think everyone's seen it by now, but essentially what it boils down to is Trump bragging about the fact that he's a celebrity and that allows him to assault women.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest pieces of fallout over the weekend was just the sheer number of Republicans that came out and basically either, walked back their endorsements of Donald Trump, or condemned his comments, or, called for him to drop out of the race. John McCain and House Speaker Paul Ryan, also made some comments about Trump. But, one of the really kind of interesting and bothersome things for me was the way that these male politicians are talking about his comments was kind of through the lens of, our sisters and our wives and our daughters, and not really talking about women as like a population.
Yeah, I mean, we see this kind of language over and over and over again. It sort of frames women only in relationship to men, and as if these male politicians have to go out and protect their women. It doesn't matter who these women are related to. It doesn't matter if they're married, if they have kids. This is not okay for any woman or really any person.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to see that this was, one of the biggest questions and one of the biggest topics in Sunday night's debate. Donald Trump's response was basically that, I'm sorry, this is just locker room talk, boys being boys. It was really great to see this week so many athletes, including LeBron James, came out basically saying, this is not how we talk in locker rooms. We're just talking about the game. We are really not talking about assaulting women. I don't know what locker rooms you're going to. Men have such a big role to play in this. It's really not just about the guys talking this way. It's not just about the Donald Trumps of the world. It's also about the Billy Bushes of the world and the men that are there and that are listening and that can either, egg somebody on, or that they can step in and say, listen, this is not okay to talk this way about women.
Also in the debate, you had Anderson Cooper saying to Trump again and again, did you do this? Did you do the things you were talking about? And Trump didn't seem like he wanted to answer him at first, but he eventually came out and said, no, I didn't do it, which is not looking great for him now, as we're seeing more and more women coming out to say, that's a lie. Not only has he done it to women, but he's done it to me.
That's such an excellent point. And I think it just is a reminder of how prevalent sexual assault really is. Over the weekend, an author named Kelly Oxford tweeted out, tweet me your first assaults, just about, assault in general. And she got millions and millions and millions of responses. And this isn't an assault in general. This isn't a second, third, or fourth assault. This is just first assaults. It's really powerful. And I think that the conversation we're having about sexual assault is so important right now.
If there is a silver lining here, that's definitely it. This really brought home for me that I think there are some people who didn't really understand what sexual assault actually is. Mm-hmm. Groping is sexual assault. Kissing someone against their will is sexual assault. So I'm happy that we are having this conversation, but I think what it really boils down to is Election Day.
Yeah.
And the message we send to women. Either this is okay or this isn't okay. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have this week on Broad Strokes. We'll be out next week because we'll be at the Fortune Most Powerful Women Summit. But you can tune in on fortune.com to watch the live stream and catch all the coverage.